Hola chamas y chamos, welcome back to a new episode of Álvaro Dev Labs. Last video of the year, and yes, I'm wearing a really ugly Christmas sweater. But it's kind of cool. It's from Stranger Things, so it has like a Demogorgon and some waffles. And if you go to the belly, you can actually see here the lights, which is pretty cool. Today we're gonna use the most tropical of all state management systems in Vue. Yes, I'm talking about Pinia. Pinia is an open source library for state management created by Eduardo, aka Posva, who did an excellent work with this library because it's really lightweight and it offers a lot of features. So kudos to Eduardo that does a great job as a Vue.js core member and a lot of contributions into the environment. You might wonder why using Pinia if we already have a composition API where we can create a reactive state or even using Vuex. Well, the reason is that Pinia is really lightweight. It's SSR friendly. That means that all your state is going to be more secure when you're using server-side rendering. It's also completely typed and it offers an amazing DevTools integration. So let's get started with this one. As usual, I'm using Vitesome for creating new applications really quick. For those that you don't know what Vitesome is, it's just a template that I created using Vite latest Vue 3 stuff. It has Windows CSS, component auto importing, and a lot of more features out of the box, so you can start projects really quick. So in this case, I prepare one for demonstrating how to use Pinia. It has different components. It has a market where you can find all the available Pinias. Then you will be able to add it to a cart and just pass the checkout with the proceed the payments. The idea here is that from all these components, you can share data using the store and getting the values right away. I gotta say that it's my first time using Pinia, so I will jump a lot to the documentation. It's really well done. Just to clarify that I haven't used it yet. It's this kind of things that you want to keep up with the latest stuff, the latest technologies library, and you don't find time to do it. Finally, I can get my hands on Pinia. So how you do normally, put in the comments how you deal with all the updates in the front-end environment. Let's talk more action. Let's go here and we are gonna add a new terminal and yarn add Pinia, probably as a developer tool. So as other plugins for Vue 3, we had to go to the main TS and just below our create app, let's import the plugin, which is create Pinia. This is a composable function that we need to register here. So app use create Pinia. Next step will be to actually create the store. So we're gonna open here in our file system. We're gonna create a new folder called store, and inside of it, I'm just gonna create an index, the TS, because we are not going to create multiple stores, but maybe you want to do it in modules. And in this one, I'm going to import something that is called define store, or define components in Vue. So from Pinia. And here we're going to export cons use store, and we use define store. We need to pass an identifier for that store. So in this case is, let's say, market. And we are gonna add a state. So here in the state, it needs to be a function. So preferably in the documentation, they recommend to use arrow function for correct typing. And we're gonna return here. Well, we basically can also return an as an object here. It's totally fine. We are gonna set here the data that we want to share between. So in this case, we want to know for our use case how many Pinias are available on the market, on the shop, and then how many do we have in the cart. So for this, I'm gonna create two properties. One is market, which is gonna hold a number. In this case, I don't know, like 24 Pinias. And the cart is gonna be empty for now. So it's gonna be 0. Okay. How do we access the state? So for accessing, we are gonna go and let's choose a component, which is the market component here. And I'm going to import from the store as use store from, have my alias here, store. Okay, and here we load the amount. This amount is the amount that we want to add to the cart, so we're not going to use it yet. But for the other one, let's call it access the store. So it's use store. Okay, and here instead of using an array to define a fake amount of piñas, let's use the actual number, and we're going to replace this with in the store. How I call it? My lord, I'm like Dory. Market. Okay, here. So now we have an updated version of the availability for piñas. But what happens here, we haven't implemented yet this value on the toolbar. So let's do it really quick. And here in the script, we're just gonna copy and paste the same thing, how we access it in this component. Let's remove the amount, which is not needed here. And where is this batch with the available? We're gonna use the store market. Cool. So now you see that it's updated in both places. One of the things that is really appealing for me from Pinia against, for example, the composition API is the nice integration with the Vue DevTools. So if you go here where it says component in your Vue DevTools, you will see that there is another module called Pinia already. And if you click it, you're going to be able to see your main store and all the submodules or substores that you define, and also the state of this one, for example. Here we have the complete state, but we're using the market store. And here we have our state, which is market at 24. Cool thing about it, if I modify it here and I add more piñas to the market, you will see that it updates automatically our application. So all the mutations that are being done here are reflected directly on the application itself. Of course, the more complex are just stored, the more useful this part is. Also, you're going to be able to see the getters and other parts of the store that we haven't checked yet. So let's talk about getters. Getters are really useful and are like computed properties from your store. In other state management flows like Redux and the proper Vuex, there's things like selectors and getters that are anonymous functions, okay, that you can call without modifying the state or accessing directly the state. So they're really useful. In this case, Pinia has getters similar to what Vuex has, and the way you define them is like creating a property that is an object that contains all the functions or all the getters inside. So let's do that. Let's go to our store, and just below here we're gonna create the getters property. So we want to do this part in several ways. Like we need to modify the cart, right? And by modifying the cart, adding new piñas here, I want that the available piñas decrease. So we can do that like directly mutating this state, like the cart property, and then at the same time subtract the amount that we use in the cart. But I think it's really over engineering. Let's do it more simple. And in the getters, let's get the available amount. So available is going to pass the state, and it's going to return, and let's do the following. Let's return state.market minus state cart. Of course, right now, since we have an empty cart, it's going to reflect the same amount. But you will notice that here we haven't seen the change. We need to refresh here, and now we see the getters. That's because the hot module replacement is not activated as a default. We need to add something to get it working. So the way of doing it here in the hot module replacement is that you need to access here asset HMR update, add HMR update, okay, and let's copy this part here, that if method.hot is available, then accept the change, and here we're gonna pass our store. So if we do that, and now let's say we modify the name here, so now if I change here and I put available opinions, it's gonna update it right here. If you don't see the update, you probably need to restart your watcher here so it gets this part, changed part, in order to work. Let's replace what we had before and use a getter instead. So in the index, we're using the store here, so we are just gonna use available, okay? Well, we actually changed it for available Pinia, so let's use available Pinias. As you can see, the typing and the warnings were right, because in the store we didn't define an available getter. It was available Pinias getter. Okay. Also, we need to update here. So instead of this, let's use available Pinias. And let's test it out. So if we increase here the number, let's put 30, that's fine. And now let's increase the number on the card. So you can see that this one is decreasing the number of available Pinias. But what happens with our card? Well, essentially we haven't connected our card component into the store. So let's do that. We go here to the Pinia market, and when we have our button, we have a V model with the amount that we want to add to the card, and we have this one here. So I'm going to add an event listener called add to cart. Okay, and it's gonna be a function that is basically going to update the store cart plus equal the V model with this amount dot value. So let's see if it works. So if I say here to add, okay, something went wrong. Could it be? Oh, no, it's actually doing it. So it's adding here, but this one is not getting updated. So to get that one, we go to the cart here, and let's access the store the same way. So import user store from here, store, and cons store equal to user store. Okay, and we are going to show here. Okay, we also have an empty array, so I'm just going to do the same that I did in the other place. And the store cart. So let's see. Okay, so let's refresh the whole thing. So we have 24 here, and let's add 4 of them. So we should have 20, and we have our cart updated. We need to also update here this. So we go to the index, and instead of available Pinias, we're gonna use here. Yes, store dot cart. Okay, now we have an available number. We also need to do the other way around. So here in the cart, we can also remove a certain amount. In the Pinia cart, let's create another function here. It's gonna be called remove from cart. And let's put if state store dot cart amount. Okay, so if amount dot value is major, then the cart, let's just reduce the cart by the amount, like, yeah, the maximum number, so it's gonna be cart. We're gonna reduce it to 0, or we can directly put like equals 0 if you put a number that is above, and else wise we're gonna put cart minus equal amount value. Here is else. I'm gonna add this here. So we need to use a remove here below. Yes, click, and we add the function remove from cart. Let's see if it works. So now we have 2. If we put 2, we remove them. If we select a higher number, it only removes the phone. So if you already work with a state management system, there is something really odd right now. At least for me, it's been odd that I'm mutating the state directly, which I consider an anti-pattern from a long time, because that will lead to undesired side effects, and it was always better to handle this from the store. So you call something that you dispatch an action. I guess this library is more flexible and allows it. It's not like Redux, complete Redux flow. But if you want to achieve something similar, here you have also actions. So let's replace these 4 actions. We are gonna grab this one here, and let's just remove it from the component itself. Also, I like to put the less business logic on the components themselves and add it in more general places like the store. So in our store, we're gonna have actions here, which is pretty much the same like structure like getters. You will have an object where you are gonna define them. And the cool thing is that the actions can also be asynchronous. So you define the functions here. I'm gonna do something similar, but instead of using here a function, I'm just gonna use remove cart. And you're gonna see that it's complaining about these 2 values. Here we're gonna need to pass the amount, basically. So we are gonna pass amount here. And what else? So here is not going to be, this one is going to be, let's see how it does it. Accessing other stuff. So user data, what can this user data? The name. So I guess we need to use this. Okay, yeah, seems like it. So you use this here. Okay, cool. And the amount implicitly has any, yeah, I was going to put on, it's going to be a ref actually, I think, yeah, let's see, this is of a number. We're going to need to import this from, import ref from, actually we don't need to pass the ref, let's just pass a number. And instead of value here, we pass amount itself. That's cool. So I had to stop saying so. We're gonna copy cut this one here, which is the one that we use for adding to the cart, and let's put it just on top of it. Factor a little bit, so comma here. Also we need to pass an amount, so that's fine. and the cart. So here's gonna be this, and this is also a number. Okay, looks fine. Let's see how we actually can use it in our components. So, well, basically the same way. It's gonna be like a method. Go to the Pinia market, and here when it says add to cart, I think we can even do it here. So available pin, add to cart here. But we have to pass an amount, and the amount is no other than amount here. Okay. Let's see if that works before we go to the next one. Okay, a little bit of pressure here. 2, add to cart. Perfect, it worked. So now let's add the possibility to remove them, or at least get it back. So here when it says remove from cart, let's just add store. Remove from cart, and the same way we're gonna pass the amount. If everything went well, we should be able to add some of them here, like 3 of them, and let's just remove 1. Okay, everything fine. Also, something cool about using actions is that here, if we go to the timeline that we normally use for events in Vue, you can see that there is also another module here, which is our Pinia module. And here you can see everything that happened, which is basically the mutation here. So we first added to the card, we have a card, and we pass 3 as a value to add to the card. And it gives you all the information about the event itself, like the action. Then it mutates the store. It gives you the previous value versus the new value. It ends up the operation itself, and then we click it to remove from cart, and it's doing the other way around. So the mutation is now removing 1. And you can see all the old value, the new value, and all the information for each one of them. So this is pretty useful, and also you can time travel. Oh yeah. I remember when I started with the state management in Angular, I remember NGRX, one of the coolest things was using the DevTools. I think they were the same as the Redux ones for React. And the cool thing was actually being able to time travel and see all the changes that happen between the time. So this implementation here, the Vue DevTools, is amazingly well done, and it's super cool to see it. Let's now use what we learned to finalize our project with the checkout part. So this is another component that is called checkout. And here I basically haven't done anything. It has like a random quantity amount and stuff. So let's replace this with the actual values. Gonna import the user store from, again, alias, yeah, store. And we need the quantity. So the quantity that we have in our cart, basically. I'm gonna remove this one here, and where it says quantity, I'm gonna use store, sorry. Where is how to complete it in that one? That's funny. Store dot cart. Because we haven't, okay, I forgot here. Cons store, use a store. Like this. Okay. The price we also define it in here, but I would like to define it in our state actually. Go here and just define a new one, which is gonna be price. It's gonna be the price, and let's put a normal amount for a Pinia, which is like, I don't know, 120 euros. That seems right. Okay, so here we can do a lot of stuff with the getters and the actual state, because we are calculating the total here. So if in the checkout we are using the store and we are checking the store cart, and let's use here multiply by the store price. Okay, we have 2. If we add, I don't know, 4, that is gonna be a total of 6, so 720 euros. So that's working. But we could even, I mean, it's okay. We can remove this and say total. Total. In here, we're gonna have another getter, and it's gonna be total. It's gonna hold the total price. So it's gonna be like this. Return the same operation here, but instead of using store, it's the state, and that should be all that we need. Let's remove one, so it updates here. It also updates the actions here. Log. And this is the HMR update. So that's kind of cool that they actually logs the HMR update here in the DevTools. Let's add some more to see that everything working, and it's looking fine. So here we have 12, same number in each one is calculating everything, and you can see the benefit of using a store with the state is that effortlessly we are updating the values everywhere. And this example is pretty simple because it's using some components in the same page, but treat each component as a page, and you will have like with a router, for example. And you will have the same thing. You will be able to access all your data. Last thing that we will need to do to complete our application is just add some action here when you proceed. And that basically will be proceed checkout, something like that. Okay, and what we need to do here is we are gonna set our checkout, like the card, to 0 because you already buy them. So state, well, no, actually this dot card is gonna be 0, but important, before doing that, we actually want to reduce the amount of availability. So this dot market is going to be reduced by this card. And then we reset this card. So this is already available. We're gonna go to our checkout tab component. Just add here click and start dot proceed checkout and see what happens. If we click here, okay. So we still have available 24, but it did the checkout, so it removes everything from the cart. What could be happening is that this is reactive. So if this card it goes to 0, then this market. Oh well, of course, Alvaro, you're super intelligent. You need to put something like this. Sorry about that. So let's check it out again. Like 3, 4 of these. We proceed, and now it's working as expected. So that was pretty much it. I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed Pinia, and the DevTools integration is quite nice. I really love it. Now I think I will use Pinia in more projects. I'm using the composition API directly, but I may change to Pinia just to check it out. Also in Nox, the module is available, so I will try it. Who knows, I'm gonna create more videos regarding more advanced stuff with Pinia then. Wrapping up what we saw today, Pinia is an excellent option for your state management in your Vue applications. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please drop a like here or here. Yeah. I want to thank you all for the support and the constant feedback regarding my videos and my content. It has been an amazing year, and I hope to see you next year with more. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe for new videos the next year. And I hope you all that celebrates Christmas have an amazing holidays with your family and friends. And to those that doesn't celebrate Christmas, have a wonderful new year, and I'll see you next time. Happy coding!